It doesn't matter. The president of the United
That's his eye. Okay, never mind. Dave is so stupid. The most clowned on person.
Protection, right? So
yes, it certainly can.
So has wokeness pushed America past the breaking point, or is the progressive movement the
influencer on the left? Did he not just...
Wait, what the
You're arguing that things economically were better under Joe Biden.
All right, we're skipping the...
My first surrounded claim is that wokeism did more damage to America than Trump ever did.
So, wow, what a claim. Dave Rubin, I worked with him in the past. For those of you who don't know, he was at the Young Turks. He is unbelievably stupid, and I think he should go on every show. And the reason why I think that is because he's so bad at advocating for his cause that it's an automatic L. Dave Rubin could have sat there and have no one show up to the chair on this episode of Surrounded, and he would still lose the argument. Okay? Incredibly stupid guy. It's awesome. And you can tell from the first premise, from the first statement, wokeism did more damage to America than Trump ever did. That's incredible. It's 2026. This talking about wokeism.
All right, if you would like to debate this claim, please get to the center in 3, 2, 1.
He's quick. He's quick.
Yes, I am. So I find it interesting that you think wokeism has done so much damage to America as opposed to Donald Trump. Wokeism did not kick 17 million Americans off of their health insurance through Medicaid. Wokeism didn't start a disastrous war with Iran that has now led to...
What if it did? I believe it did, though. Have you heard about the war against anti-woke?
Inflation outpacing wage growth. Wokeism hasn't ripped up institutions or attempted even to destroy free speech, even by your standards, because Ronald Reagan appointed judge ruled that the Trump administration was violating the First Amendment by attempting to deport, arrest, and detain students and faculty members on college campuses for protesting for Palestine. Wokeism, to me, it doesn't even have remotely as disastrous as a track record as Donald Trump.
Well, how would you define wokeism? I guess we should start with that.
I think wokeism is a pejorative term that's used to describe left-wing cultural politics.
Right, and what do you think left-wing cultural politics are?
I'd say left-wing cultural politics include just the broad attitudes towards social justice, especially for minority groups that have faced persecution in various ways.
Okay, so I think the simplest way to define wokeism is basically...
Yeah, shouldn't you be defining that, Dave? Is your statement
collectivism on steroids, and usually as it applies to race and gender, meaning that you should be judged based on the color. You actually should be judged based on the color of your skin and your sexuality and your gender and a whole bunch of immutable characteristics. And depending on where those fall on the left's kind of hierarchy of importance, that's kind of how you can parse out where people should be and how important their ideas are.
So even assuming your characterization to be an accurate characterization, which I don't necessarily take.
Right. We're going to have a lot of trouble getting to a fair agreement on
that
wokeism.
Wokeism has, for example, skyrocketed inflation to outpace wage growth the way that Donald Trump's war of aggression on Iran has done. Can you demonstrate that wokeism has violated the First Amendment by arresting students and faculty members on college campuses?
Okay. Well, yes, I can. So let's start. Well, first off, the disaster.
Wokeism arrested students on college campuses is awesome. Great. I can't wait.
War, the quote unquote disastrous war that you're talking about. You're talking about a 40-day military operation that stopped an apocalyptic regime from getting a nuclear bomb and exporting terrorism throughout the world. And we're now in an economic embargo of them, right? We've basically done a blockade of the Strait of Hormuz. So to say it's a disastrous war,
we've done a blockade.
We did lose. Hang on. We did lose 13. We did lose 13 of our soldiers, and that is
and killed over
terrible.
200 children.
But things happen in war, right?
Yeah.
Well, things do happen in war. You can laugh at that. Hold on. Listen, you want to talk?
No, I agree. But that's why war should be a last option. If Donald Trump wanted to prevent the Islamic Republic of Iran from obtaining a nuclear weapon, he could have just stuck with the Iran nuclear deal that he ripped up. Iran did not enrich past the 3.67. Wait, they didn't enrich past the 3.67% agreed upon in the JCPOA. They only got to 60% after Donald Trump left that deal and then started doing.
Dave is so good. Yeah. That's a great way to debate. Unbelievable tactics, Dave. You're not even doing the nuh-uh. You're going, yeah.
aggressive action. 60%. And Rich passed
Look at this.
3.67%
Well, that's not
agreed
true.
upon
They-
in the
no,
JCPOA.
no, no.
They only got to 60% after Donald Trump
God.
left that
Yeah.
deal and then
Yeah.
started doing
That's what he's doing. It's awesome.
aggressive actions.
I must say, I'm impressed with your talking points. You got impressive talking points, and you memorized them well. They're not correct, but I am impressed.
Okay,
First
fact
off,
check that one. Fine.
first off, the Iranians admitted in the negotiations right before the war started that they were enriching past what they were allowed to. That's number one. Number two, you also have to go on the assumption. You
wait,
also have to go.
can I
Hold on,
just-
hold on,
wait,
hold
'cause
on.
we
Hold on,
I
hold
wanna
on.
take
You
up
also
one point at a
have
time.
you
No,
also
responding
you
to your
also
previous
you also
point.
have to go on the assumption or acceptance that can you agree or verify their claims? It's one thing to say, oh, this is what we're doing, this is what we are agreed to, et cetera, but you have to be able to verify that. And the idea that we have people on the ground or the UN or some third-party organization that can verify what they're actually doing with underground nuclear sites and a whole bunch of other things is I would say, quite a leap of
Can I
faith,
respond
right?
to
You
that?
want to trust but verify.
Can I respond to that?
Sure.
So the IAEA and U.S. intelligence said that Iran did not enrich past the 3.67% prior to
they-
Donald Trump ripping up and stepping out of the Iran nuclear deal in I believe it was 2017,
Okay. So
2018
again,
when
in
he
the-
did that.
in
So
these
prior to,
negotiations- in these negotiations,
because
Steve
Donald Trump ripped up
No.
the Iran nuclear deal to begin with, that's the only
Let me ask
reason.
you
I do think that like right-wing commentary has actually lost this sauce because like at least there's stuff that you can say here against the JCPOA. It's kind of like, you know, in a court case, in a civil proceeding, or even in like in a criminal case, like there is still an argument that defense will put up, right? And if you at least do the reading, you can like internalize the argument that the defense is making. You don't have to just like take whatever the result was at face value. But these guys don't even do the reading. So with the JCPOA, like so many of these guys have just given up on finding like good talking points that could at least like throw the average left-wing person in a loop. They've just given up on it entirely. So they just go, yeah, nuh-uh. That's it. That's it. Like it's fairly indefensible what Trump did with JCPOA, but at least you could just like, I don't know, dignify your interlocutors by doing a little bit of reading on what the correct positions are that you could put forward as a Republican and say like, well, Iran was still funding weapons to Hezbollah and like the sanctions relief ended up going, ended up sending money to Iran that Iran could then redirect over to the axis of resistance, like things like that. There was a higher quality of right-wing slopaganda back in the day, and these guys have completely given up on it. Like they don't even want to know the correct talking points. It's crazy. It's actually shocking. I could do a better job of arguing a Republican position and make it convincing than these heads can. Grifters don't even want to work anymore. It's crazy. It makes me kind of mad. Here, the real argument that you should be presenting here is that the JCPOA was established on shaky ground. We can't rely on a multilateral commitment from our foreign adversaries like China and Russia. The International Atomic Energy Agency was in the pocket of the European Union. We can't trust them either. And then all of the Obama era sanctions relief opened up new pathways for the Iranian economy to bloom in the hands of the European markets. And then they could take all of that money and all of the components that they can now get off of the newly opened up pathways and build those missiles that pummeled Israel, that pummeled American military bases. Like, I don't know. Like that. Chapo hate raid. That's so funny. Chapo. What's good, Chapo? Hope you guys had a good stream. We're watching Dave Rubin. You could then turn around and say Obama shipped pallets of cash to Iran, and then that cash went directly into the hands of Hezbollah, directly into the hands of the axis of resistance. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many lies that you could at least say that would come across more convincing than you know what I mean? That's his answer. That's not an answer. That's not even a sentence. That's not even words. You're just making mouth noises.
Let's try it a different way. I'll try it a different way.
The IAEA assessments agree with me, and Tulsi Gabbard, our Director of National Intelligence, testified in front of Congress last year, and according to the entire intelligence community, Iran did not have a nuclear weapons program.
Okay. That they didn't have a nuclear weapons program. They were enriching past the point that they were allowed to for civilian use. Everyone knows that.
Yeah.
Yes, it was a point of leverage in order to get sanctions relief. You idiot. That's the reason why they stopped enriching past the point of civilian usage with the JCPOA, proving once again that the diplomatic solution is the only solution with Iran, for better or for worse. Which is the point that he's making, and he's right.
But do you understand a weaponization process is different than just enriching?
Do you think the Iranian regime...
And this is also before we even factor in a delivery system, okay? Iran has personally restricted their weapon systems to reach maybe like Hungary, okay? They don't have missiles, launching platforms, nor the systems that could go anywhere around the world, even if they were to deliver even if they were to be able to generate and create a nuclear weapon, which there was a fatwa for, and big L on behalf of the Ayatollah Ali Khamenei there. But, you know, they had the fatwa regardless, and they followed through on it. The only reason why they enriched beyond the point of civilian usage was specifically to bring back the United States to the negotiations process and to get sanctions relief. But they don't even have the delivery systems that they need to also design and develop.
Before this war, the Iranian regime that has oppressed the people of Iran for 40 years.
Also, what the does that have to do with wokeism? You have yet to explain the damage that wokeism caused as opposed to Trumpism.
Do you think that was a good regime? Would you say that was a good government? Would you like to live under those people? Were they progressive in it?
Wait a minute. They're anti-woke. Iran killed woke. That's what the Iranian Revolution was about. Killing woke. Shouldn't you be happy? Why can't they kill woke? Why is it only good if America kills woke? Iran has thoroughly dismantled woke. I thought that's what you wanted. It's because they're not white, it's woke. Oh, okay. So if the brown guys are anti-woke, then it's bad. Okay, I didn't realize.
Anyway, do they hold any of the
Yeah, when they say Mark bar America, Mark bar Israel, they're also saying Mark bar wokeism. That's what they're saying, bro. They're saying that in the parliament, bro. Galabaf. Iran is a nation of autistic chuds who are unbelievably well educated. Okay? They're all engineers. They all saw battle when they were like 13, and they all hate woke, and they love building munitions. Okay, they love building platforms. They love building launchers that are single use if necessary. And they tackled woke.
Values that any of you guys hold?
No, but we don't just start wars on countries whose politics we disagree with or who are oppressive to their own people. We're actually an ally to Saudi Arabia and Mohammed bin Salman.
They love LGBT? No, they don't love LGB, but they love the T. Ironically enough, they are actually woke on the T. That's the one part.
That I agree with. You don't do that.
Okay,
and we got something. All right, we got something.
We got something with Israel that has committed gross human rights violations in Gaza.
I'm shocked that Israel came up. Israel, the only place that has any of the progressive values that any of you guys share.
Really? This is actually this is perfect. This is perfect because one of the things that you told me.
That's awesome. He just deploys. Yeah. That's it. That's the whole point.
At the beginning of this conversation.
Oh, you meant the other LGBT. Oh, let's go. Bleep bleep. Certain place.
Was that wokeism was judging people based on characteristics and collective thought. Israel is literally centered around the prioritization of the Jewish people as a matter of policy. That is literally collectivist thought. So you must hate Israel too. You must think that that's the ultimate form of collective identity, right?
How many Muslim countries are there? How many Muslim countries?
So you're just pivoting?
No. I'm going to answer.
But is Israel collectivist?
How many Muslim countries are there?
I'm sure there are a lot of Muslim countries because there are a lot more Muslims than Jews.
Yeah, well, just ballpark. How many Muslim countries are there?
I would probably maybe say, like, let's say between 10 to 20, maybe.
All right, you're off by about 40. There's about 52 or 53 Muslim countries. In any of those countries, how's it going for minorities, women, gays, Christians, Jews?
Yeah, I can say that other nations, it's extraordinarily repressive. But like I said,
Okay, we got to pause there.
No,
We got to
no.
pause there. You've been voted out by the majority.
Okay.
Please return to your seat.
This conversation fell completely
It's been fun.
off the rails, bro. Get in there, Mason.
Oh, she had it. She had it. All right.
Dave.
All right. Hi.
Good to meet you. I'm
Good to
actually a
meet
big
you.
fan. I've been watching you since like all the way back in the Sam Harris era.
Oh yeah.
And then I remember you
softening me up. Okay.
No, you brought
okay.
on like Stephen Molyneux, like the white nationalist, and I was like, this guy just loves ideas. He just loves all different types.
Oh my God, Mason, you hole. That's a bro. That is. Oh my God! He just unlocked memories in my brain. Mr. Ideas, remember? Dave Rubin was always like, "Oh, I love ideas. I'm Mr. Ideas." That's awesome. He came in hot with the deep cuts. Oh my God! I love ideas. I love different ideas. High level ideas.
Of ideas. I love that. But yeah, just wanted to talk right
Oh, he didn't like that.
now specifically about the difference between progressive values and the MAGA coalition.
Yeah. Look, this is, oh my God.
It was their first public appearance together ever, and I have to say that my brain is still in recovery mode from taking in so many high-level important ideas.
My brain's still in recovery mode. It's so good. His brain, many people are saying his brain is still in recovery mode from taking on those high level ideas.
And it seems to me that all of the ills that are attributed to wokeism are typically things that people find annoying. So people being overly, policey about their pronoun usage or talking about specific groups that might seem extremely marginalized. That's what I typically hear from the right. I don't hear like a degradation of like society unless it's the far theocratic right. And I don't think that you ascribe to that. Would you call yourself a theocrat?
I mean, I wrote the best-selling book on classical liberalism, so it's funny. I get called a conservative all the time. I actually happen to be a liberal in the
You're a
truest
liberal.
sense. In the truest sense of liberal.
You should join the circle.
Progressives are not liberal as a general rule of thought. Yeah.
Damn, bro. Dude, respect. This throwback.
Would think he is. He's pretty good. He plays like a shooting guard.
Okay.
Pretty much. That's usually. Classic, relatively athletic guy.
Bradley Beal.
Definitely better on the court than he is in the marketplace of ideas for sure.
Have you always thought, like, I'm legitimately, because you know that I've asked Anna this,
Rest in peace to my goat, Michael Jamal Brooks, baby.
and I'm not trying to be a pain in the ass, and you know that I've like, how did you guys work? He's so stupid, Hasan. Like, even if he was right, he's a idiot.
Oh, dude. Okay, so here's the thing. Dave Rubin was the first time I really questioned like how much leeway I give to ideological allies, like people who I perceive to be on my side.
Yeah.
Because I genuinely never realized how dumb he was. You know what I mean? And I don't know if it's because he is kind of a liberal who's like portraying himself as a conservative, and that's why he comes across maybe more stupid now, or that he was genuinely this stupid this entire time, but because he was a liberal, I just simply did not see it. But yeah, I don't know. It really shocked me to the core seeing how dumb he has become. I don't think he was this dumb, but maybe he was just repeating liberal talking points, so I never really questioned it.
I'm gonna guess that was what was going on, because I have actually looked. I didn't really watch him, or I wasn't really aware of him when he was on TYT, and then I kind of got like, okay, this guy's setting up this new hustle, and he's gonna.
This is so boring. This is boring. Who's on the phone? It's me calling into the Michael Brooks show. Rest in power, Michael Brooks. Mason was a majority report, and he said that the only thing that was cut from his conversation with Dave was when Mason mentioned Sam Cedar. Wait, really?
Yeah, for me, I just feel like that type of like annoyance that wokeism presents to the world is a lot less dangerous than like, I don't know, the coalition that you're a part of that like condemns people for having children when they're in gay marriages, or says things like, people that are of particular sexual orientations don't deserve the same equal rights. Would you say that that's something that's dangerous?
A coalition
God, Mason is so good. He's the best of us.
is going to have all sorts of people in it. So
it's like
MAGA, if we were talking
ideological diversity. Right?
Yeah, if we were talking about what MAGA is, what I like about MAGA actually is that it's not a specific set of you have to believe this exact set, right?
Right.
You have to believe these exact
some people in MAGA can
things.
believe like gay couples can have kids, and others can believe like that's degeneracy and those people need to be jailed.
Well,
those are like the difference of ideas.
Well, actually, the tough answer to that is yes.
Oh.
As long as you're not trying to litigate someone's life. I am around a lot of conservatives all the time, and
Right.
particularly Christian conservatives, let's say, they generally are not for gay marriage. By the way, there's not one mosque in the United States that performs gay marriages, which is worth noting.
Why are you so focused on Muslims today?
Well, I'm just giving you
Okay,
giving you a fact. But what I have found consistently, Donald Trump was the first incoming first-time president that was for gay marriage.
I actually really want to talk about that.
Barack Obama was not for gay marriage when he first came in.
And not until 2013.
So what I would say is the MAGA movement, I mean, look, Scott Bessent, who's the Treasury Secretary, is married to a man and has kids. Peter Thiel is married to a man and has kids. Douglas Murray is one of the...
Wait, I don't think Peter Thiel is married, and I don't think he has kids. Yeah, Scott Bessent is gay. You guys didn't know that? You guys know Peter Thiel is gay.
greatest voices we have in conservatism happens to be
he's married to J.D. Vance.
gay.
Yeah.
I don't, for the most part, people on the right actually believe in individual rights and don't really care. But that doesn't mean
that's
but
where
that
you've lost
doesn't
me,
mean
though, because
that doesn't mean that everyone has to have the same religious perspective on everything.
But you've been around the block for a long time, and just like you alluded to, in 2016, Trump held up a flag that said LGBTQ for Trump. He was asked in a CBS interview, would you let Caitlyn Jenner use the bathroom that she wants to in your hotels? He said absolutely. He didn't have a problem with that.
He actually gave a better answer than that. He said, I'm a hotel builder. If you told me I had to build one bathroom, that would be fine with me. I think it's a great answer.
But that's what's crazy is that evolution has changed so much to the current MAGA movement. The MAGA movement today, Donald Trump would absolutely not say that somebody could use the bathroom aligned with their gender identity. He specifically banned that. And not just that, but he's also just called for, he specifically wrote an executive order that classifies far leftist groups, like pro-transgender groups, as a danger to the country, which often the entire military can go after. That is insane. That is absolutely a violation of people's individual rights.
All right, so you want to talk about the trans issue sort of broadly, I
want to talk about the MAGA coalition that claims to be pro-individual liberty, yet wants to police the way that people express themselves.
But what are they doing?
That also wants to police people's bodies, that want to go after people specifically because of their ethnicity.
Right.
None of that should be tolerated.
Okay, so Donald Trump is in the middle of his second term. Gay marriage is here, it's passed, it's a just
then
cause.
Why are
I believe in individual rights.
Wait, you're friends with Michael Knowles, right?
Yeah.
So what's that coalition again called? I think it's like Less Equal. That's trying to actually get rid of Obergefell and overturn gay marriage rights. Does that not concern you?
Well, first off, I've never heard of that specific organization. But what I can tell you,
you're friends with them.
Yeah, no, that's like, I mean, that's a real initiative. I don't know why you're, as a gay man, not more worried about that. As a gay MAGA man, Dave Rubin's life is just a sequence of humiliations that he has to withstand too. Mason L right here, it's called Greater Than.
Michael is part of. I just don't know what you're talking about. But what I would
look it up right now.
What I would
it's
say
called
is
Less Than. And it's Lila Rose, Michael Knowles. I think it's what's that guy's name at the Daily Wire, the head one?
L, you didn't get the fact check. You didn't get the Straight Arrow News fact check, Mason. Big L, Mason. You hooked us in with the ideas mentioned, though. That was awesome.
But okay, but that's not Donald Trump.
I understand that you want to go away from this.
No. That's
topic.
not Donald Trump. That's not the head of the party. I have friends that. Well, first off, Michael and I are friends, but there is a cap on our friendship.
What is this?
There actually
How are you friends with someone who doesn't want you to be in love, my man?
He doesn't want me to be in love. He's had dinner at my house with his wife. My husband cooked for him.
That's against God, so I want to have a word with him.
No. But think about what you're saying. I get
Dave,
no. Think about what I'm saying.
But what I want to say
your name. Wait. Hold on, champ.
Dave Rubin's life is just eating nonstop. It's awesome. Dave Rubin has to just like constantly be around people that literally tell him he's going to hell because he's a homosexual man. He has to constantly be in correspondence with people that tell him that he should not be able to adopt children, which he has. He has adopted children. He's a gay man. His husband's name is also Dave. His husband actually is a wonderful guy. I don't know if he still is, but he was a wonderful guy at the time when I first met him. But yes, Dave Rubin is a gay man married to, a husband by the same name. Yes, Dave and Dave. And they have a child, or maybe more than one child. I don't know. I haven't kept up with their lives, but
You know, in your world of how tolerant you are showing me you are, you're actually showing a remarkable amount of intolerance because although I don't know the group that you're talking about,
hey,
Michael
flip the
Knowles as a
script on
human
him. Yeah, Mason, quite homophobic that you're owning a gay man.
being has been to my house and my husband has cooked him lamb and we have enjoyed evenings together and shared personal moments and all of those things. Now, do we agree on absolutely everything? Of course, the answer to that is no. And if Michael or anyone else was trying to lead some organization that was going to go against my civil rights, well, that is where obviously we would have our difference of opinion,
really,
of course.
Dave, I
also respect people's religious beliefs. They're allowed to have their religious beliefs. Their religious beliefs are not allowed to legislate my life. This is all very separate from the trans thing, which obviously I sense is going to come up a few more times.
I'll just say real quick, like, I'm not trying to come after you. I believe that you should have the full liberty to have the family of your choice. But what I will say is I'm glad Michael treats you with respect individually when you guys are together. But when he goes in front of his platform and says that a video of two gay men having a child is the most disgusting thing that he's ever seen, which is a quote, you can look up the tweet. Michael said that that child is in one of the most dangerous situations he can think of, which is crazy to think of all the abusive parents that actually live in this society, regardless of sexual orientation. And you're going to look at a happy family and say, this is disgusting. That should feel like a violation.
Okay, so I didn't see that video, but if what you're asking me is do I agree with, let's just say what you said is true, do I agree with Michael's point on that? Of course the answer is no.
But that is the MAGA coalition.
No.
That's what I'm saying. That is the ideology.
No, that's not the coalition. No, that's not the coalition. No, that's not the coalition.
That is what the administration is pushing
you're taking
towards.
a very specific person and you're saying.
Is it a small specific?
Oh,
is it
absolutely. Yes.
No, it is not.
Yes. Oh, it is.
A majority.
No, that's completely absurd. That's
is
completely
not.
absurd. It's completely absurd.
We got to pause there. You've been voted out by the majority.
That's bullshit. That's bullshit. What they did to Mason is bullshit. They should not have voted him out.
Good grab.
I want to go to your prompt in a second, but I just wanted to address, so I actually come from a Christian background. I spent a lot of my career debating Christian nationalists. And even the nicest Christian nationalists, they do
Epstein's Ghislaine? What is that? This person, ew.
want to take your rights. I spend a lot of time talking to these people, even the really nice ones. So I just want to be careful, and I guess I want to say, like, I remember when you posted about having your kid.
The sex pest Ghislaine. The other one is also, there's another sex pest orbiter in the group. I saw her in the background, the one that hates me. I mean, I guess this one probably hates me too. This guy's gonna cook, I think. We'll see. There's another one. I don't even see her. Oh, right there. Liberal pearly things? Yeah, just pearly things.
You guys are slow, bro. How's it going, Dave?
You're quick. How you doing?
So
She is/was Dee's partner in business.
I just quickly wanted to recognize, I love this, by the way. You have a very unconventional.
I'm unfamiliar with the expanded Nelly universe. Yeah, I think he has like 2, maybe 3 orbiters that remain. He's lost the rest of his expanded universe. His extended universe of fighters and his Fedayeen are gone now. They're like either too embarrassed to defend him for obvious reasons, or they now realize that he was a giant piece of shit. And I think like the only 2 that remain is that last girl that we just saw, which people have taken to calling Epstein's Ghislaine Maxwell in the Epstein cinematic universe. And then the other one, the other one is the other lady who is always yelling at me that wants to be like the liberal Charlie Kirk or something. The Pedayeen. Oh my God, stop.
Household. And wokeism has brought you that household, right? To live with your husband, to have your 2 children, or conceived through surrogacy. And I appreciate that.
Wokeism didn't bring that. Equal rights.
So
one of his remaining orbiters is a self-admitted, and then there's Darius. I don't know who Darius is. I think the self-admitted is the one who was trying to get me banned, and then we found out that she had actually openly talked about having pedophilic tendencies, right? Food slops.
wokeism is, as I define it, as I view it personally, is looking to expand on already existing civil liberties, right? To ensure that, to ensure America practices what it preaches: equal protections, inclusion of everybody, democracy, etc. So it's not a policy prescription, it's a social prescription. Donald Trump is president. He's the head of the executive branch. He has a trifecta, a judiciary that's on his side. Donald Trump's violent. Donald Trump's destroying the pillars of America: democracy, negative rights, the rule of law, our Constitution. The list goes on and on. So I'm just curious to see what institutional damage has wokeism done, and
sure,
if you want to engage with Trump being violent, that'd be nice.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I just don't agree with anything you said there, period. First off, wokeism isn't what led to, say, gay marriage. What led to gay marriage is a fight for equality under the law.
That's literally what is wokeism. That's what wokeism is. What the fuck is wokeism then? I don't like the way you framed wokeism as a thing that is good, because I think it's bad. I'm sure he'll make the distinction.
If you believe that
Mason said in the break he ran off to ask ChatGPT for talking points. Stop.
Heterosexual marriage, that an adult should be able to engage in any sort of contract with another adult, then that has to be equal. That's what equal protection, which you just mentioned, is. And that's actually what the decision was based on.
Yes.
So that was not wokeism. That was the promise of America, which is the promise of individual rights and equal opportunity. As for a few of the other things that you said there, again, if we could do you want to do the Iran thing again.
No, I said Donald Trump is violent.
Yeah, so Donald Trump is violent in what sense?
Yeah, so I also want to mention you, the reason why you left the left, correct me if I'm wrong, is because you believe progressives were turning to authoritarianism. Am I correct there?
I mean,
that was your PragerU video. You said it. You can't deny it.
Settle down, Chip. There was a panoply of reasons that I did.
But that's one of them, correct?
Yeah.
Do you think it's authoritarian for the president of the United States to call for the death of 6 active members of the legislature for making a video that is totally fine and legal?
It's interesting. Oh, well, first off, you're talking about the video where they basically, Mark Kelly and several of these guys were basically saying, if you're in the military, you can go against, Trump and all those things. Well, first off, there are some legal actual reasons that perhaps you should not, as a former member of the military, be telling.
Yeah, the punishment for making videos is death. I forgot. Sorry.
I'm sorry.
I wish these guys would hit on like harder shit. I feel like the first guy hit him on some more significant problems, right? Like war with Iran. It's just, crisis in the cost of living crisis only accelerating further, stuff like that. Because Donald Trump called for the death of 6 congressional members, like members of Congress. I think some of them were in the Senate, some of them were in the House of Representatives. I can't really remember. But that's up. Don't get me wrong, but it's just like he has such a big laundry list of shit that, not to say that that's not up. I'm just saying there's like more consequential things that he's done. By the way, the best thing to do here would be to get Dave Rubin to define what wokeism is and why it's damaging, because he's just running away with it right now by like he's just like wokeism. Wokeism is bad things, and things that you call wokeism that are good, I don't agree. It's not wokeism. That's just America. Like, that's his argument, which is so stupid.
Hang him. George Washington Wood.
Did anyone get put to death?
Does it matter? The president of the United States.
That's his Okay, never mind. Dave is so stupid. Did anyone get put to death? Oh, okay. So I guess the president can make the president can actually threaten with sitting representatives and sitting senators as long as they don't actually get put to death. It's fine. Would you be fine with that if Joe Biden said that? If Joe Biden came out and was like, we should, do the death penalty to Tom Cotton, would you be fine with that? Of course not. You'd be like, oh my God, the violent liberals, these violent liberals need to be put in prison. Like, that's what you would say in that situation. And to be fair, you would have good reason to say that. Like, that would be crazy if Biden said that.
The United States is actively calling for the death of members of the legislature.
And is anyone in trouble? Is anyone in trouble because of that? You're missing the difference.
No, you're saying Donald Trump.
Okay,
hold on.
Hang on.
Let's just understand the prompt here. You said wokeism has done more damage than Donald Trump ever did.
So explain
Can you tell
the
me
damage.
A single time wokeism is doing something
explain,
remotely similar?
So remotely similar as Donald Trump.
You want damage?
Being
yeah, he should have been like, what do you think about Hasan Piker? What he said about Rick Scott? He's not dead. He's very much alive. Do you think that that's appropriate? You know what I mean?
You want damage? Sarcastic.
I can give you damage.
Let me explain something.
I can give you the damage. Hold on.
Listen, let me explain something to you. Donald Trump, all you need to know about, for any one of you guys that think that Donald Trump's coming for you because you're gay or you're trans or something like that, or you're black or anything else, might I recommend you just read Art of the Deal, which Donald Trump wrote about 40 years ago.
It's terrible. It's just discussing his activities throughout the week.
You can dismiss it. You can dismiss it. But Donald Trump gave you his playbook 40 plus years ago. 40 plus years ago, he gave you the playbook on how he negotiates. He leads with crazy
So this is irrelevant
things.
to what I'm currently talking about, right?
No, it's completely...
No, you asked me about damage. I can give you examples, but you don't want them because you know you're going to get fried.
No.
No, that isn't true.
It's completely
Donald Trump
irrelevant.
tried to rewrite the Constitution via executive order with Executive Order 14160. And it was followed up by 141601, where they used this to target individuals for pro-Palestinian speech like Mahmoud Khalil. And this was already ruled upon, by the way.
All right.
I'm sure you know about this, correct?
Yeah. Okay, first
but he
off,
tried to rewrite the Constitution via executive order. Can the president do that?
There's a difference.
Can the president do that?
Hold on. There is a difference between exercising free speech.
He's not answering.
There's a difference between exercising free speech and closing down a campus and not letting students get. You're an interesting character. Yeah. No, you seem nice. There's a difference between exercising free speech, which I will always defend your free speech, no matter how noxious it is.
The president
and
doesn't.
closing down
defending the
campuses.
president.
No, they
Yes.
weren't. No, Mahmoud
Yes.
Khalil and all of these masked
He was
Hamas
almost deported with
jihadis.
no cause, and it's literally in the documents of the case.
Well, first off,
Yeah, he was almost deported with no clause, and there's even a less defensible aspect of this, where you can talk about Remeza Öztürk, right? The Turkish American or the Turkish student on a student visa at Tufts University, who literally got kidnapped and was placed in a prison for genuinely just writing an article about Israel. Like, that's it. She was one of the co-authors that was in the Tufts school newspaper, and she got kidnapped by masked agents of the state in broad daylight in the middle of the goddamn city.
Marco Rubio has illustrated the point many, many times.
true.
If you're here on a green card or a student visa or anything else, you don't have the exact same protections that you don't.
Congress shall make no law. What?
No. For people.
Dave said we threatened his life, by the way. What?
I honestly believe several of them would have killed me if given the opportunity, truly. And you all know my guy Joey, who works for me, and he said to me after, he said, Dave, I made a choice halfway through that if one of them was going to attack you, I was going to get involved. Because that's the level of...
Wow, what the is this dip doing here? Clown ass. Bunch of clowns.
Like, I could feel the daggers coming at me. The ones that, mostly they had horrible scowls on their faces, but the ones that smiled at me actually seemed like the most dangerous because they were like Joker smiles.
And the weird Joker smiles, it was so distracting and so unpleasant. You can't have discourse. I don't know how you pulled it off.
Wait, I don't know how you pulled it off with a bunch of interlocutors who smiled at you. Wow. He almost died. You guys are laughing. Mason, how do you live with yourself doing a hate crime like that? Smiling in the face of Dave Rubin.
You know, truly, to sit around 20 people that have nothing but hatred for you, like there wasn't even I tried my best. I kind of didn't want to do it because I've just been through enough versions of the internet and dealt with the hate and the whatever. My team really wanted me to do it. I was like, you know what? I'll give it. I'll do it. Whatever. It's not a big deal. I tried to say, I'll show you a little respect to start this thing. They offered nothing. For 2 hours and 55 minutes, I think I did a very nice job. I did have one blip moment where I kind of blanked on something, and I fully grant that.
David, that sounds ridiculous.
The most clowned on person in the Republican commentariat.
That are citizens of the United States of America.
What's the precedent for that?
Wait a minute.
Nothing. So Donald Trump tried to sign an executive order rewriting the birthright citizenship clause of the 14th Amendment. Where did he get this power?
Let me ask you something. Do you think
is it authoritarian to act on a self-granted authority?
Hold on.
Is it? Can you answer my question?
Hold on.
You're not going to.
Yeah, I got to let me chat here for a sec. Listen.
Dave, talk.
Let me ask you something. Let's try it this way. So let's say you and your girlfriend went on vacation. Bora Bora, you show up to the most beautiful place on earth, and she's 7 months pregnant, and she then gives birth in Bora Bora. You think your child should be a citizen of French Polynesia, Bora Bora?
And you think affirms that just solely principle, and I'm sorry, the president cannot defy it because he doesn't like it.
The president,
that's how our country works.
No,
and
you
that
can
is an
fight
example of damage to America.
You can fight it in the courts.
He doesn't like the courts. He ignores them. Prior to the Alien Enemies Act removals, Emile Beauvais...
Okay, we're out of time. We got to stop there.
Okay, got you.
My next surrounded claim is if you still vote for Democrats in 2026, you're voting for broken cities, broken schools, and broken borders.
Oh, very good. Very nice. Very funny. Okay. This is going to be a good one. All right. God, even the claims that he's making are stupid.
If you would like to debate this claim, get to the chair in 3, 2, 1.
Hey, how are you, Santana?
So, can you explain a little bit about what you mean broken cities, broken schools, broken borders?
Sure. Well, broken cities, you can boil it down to crime and drug use. And I can tell you, having been here in Los Angeles for the last 36 hours, I have seen more homeless people, more drug use, more urban decay than I have seen in the last 5 years combined living in Florida.
Florida?
Yeah. In terms of schools, it's basically brainwashing kids and teaching them what to think instead of teaching them how to think. And then what was the third one in terms of,
For the record, every Republican argument in the general election turns into Dave Rubin if the opposition is actually advancing. If the Democrats, hopefully Democratic Socialists, are advancing a clear agenda on affordability and defining exactly what they're going to do as far as like healthcare, Medicare for all, housing for all, government funded housing, federal jobs guarantee, free college, and, embargoing the state of Israel, like things like that. This is all they have. It will be reduced to just this. Okay. These guys, I think, got a little bit too comfortable with not really having to make a convincing argument because Democrats haven't been making a convincing case to vote for them. Right. But in any case, we're at 8 hours. I'm going to end it here, chat. I'm tired. I'm sorry. Maybe we'll continue watching this tomorrow. There's a lot of other funny videos on the docket as well. So we'll get to all of that and more.